Amen.
Thank you, Oreen. So let me take you back. The world was spinning really fast in 1979. Globally, and this might sound familiar, the Iranian Revolution toppled the Shah. The Soviet Union had invaded Afghanistan, and Margaret Thatcher became the UK's Prime Minister. In Jamaica, Edward Seaga's Jamaica Labour Party was rising in opposition. Political violence was intensifying ahead of the 1980 general elections, and the economy was struggling under the IMF austerity measures. And yet, in the middle of all of that noise of uncertainty, 5 mothers were pregnant with 6 babies, unaware of the friendships God was already weaving together. 3 of us arrived in August. The twins, Farah and Francine, were first, then Melissa, then Marsha came in September, Carolissa in October, and me in November. 6 little lives born into a turbulent world with no idea that God had already written our stories together. Our paths converged, well, kind of, when in 1990 we all passed our common entrance exams for Glenmuir High School. Carolissa would soon befriend Farah. And then, one of the things that made it easy to make it happen, and the formidable group began in first form, was because 5 of us were Seventh-day Adventists. And I dare say, with the addition of Kim, Pastor Allen at the time, in that crusade, all of us would have been baptized on the same night. Yes, it wasn't until fourth form that our paths really deeply crossed. Carolissa, Farah, Melissa, Marsha were placed in the same class, and something just clicked. Carolissa had a magnetic personality, bubbly, always ready with a good story, and her laugh, oh, that laugh, you know that laugh, right? Don't try it right now, was utterly disarming. You couldn't be around her and stay sad for long. Francine and Melissa soon joined. For the next 4 years, our identity became more defined. We were F2M2CS, Farah, Francine, Melissa, Marsha, Carolissa, and Simone. We were sisters. We excelled in school and we held each other together. Marsha recalls when both herself and Carolissa were practicing for CSEC math, CXC math at the time. They would go by Mrs. Stewart's house in Mineral Heights, one of our math teachers, and later became the principal for the Bear Technical High School. And they would go to their house, her house, Lisa's house, and share dinner before going to classes, which finished at about 7 p.m. We knew the stakes were high, and we were committed to each other, Marsha says, and to excellence. That commitment, quiet, unspoken, but fierce, was the thread that kept us together through the 5th form and then our 6th form years. We still smile when we think about our hangout spots outside the auditorium and outside of our 6A classroom at Glenmuir. We were so carefree. We got into trouble one time for it, though. So happy. We had no idea how that kind of friendship was or how tightly we would one day need to hold on to every memory of it. Carolissa was a light, and she never stopped being one. The years moved on, and as it did, we moved with them into marriages, successful careers, and motherhood. We had all boys between us. Melissa has two, Francine 2, Farah 2, me 2, Marsha 1. Then Carolissa and Ainsworth came along and broke the streak. They had 2 beautiful girls, Ava and Carrie, and they brought them into the world and into our hearts. They were her pride and joy, and we were proud mothers and aunties right alongside her. Girls, your mom loved you deeply and was intent on sharing everything that she knew. Her creative skills, sewing, calligraphy, art, and later, cosmetology and farming. She wanted to pour every good thing she had into them. And Ainsworth, you were the love of her life. Her everything, in good times and tough times, achieving together, crying together, praying together. We watched that love, and it was beautiful. There are some things about her that simply must be said. Our sisterhood, our sister friend, was a confidant. She was the kind of person you could call at any hour with any burden and trust completely. She didn't just listen, she held you, and she held what you shared with care and discretion. Of course, she was a guidance counselor, right? But she already had the predisposition for all of that. And somehow she made you feel less alone. That was a gift that she gave freely, without fanfare, to every one of us. Our sister friend was a fearlessly loyal friend. Though distance separated us, most of us after high school, whenever we got together, it was as if time had stopped and we had never left. It seems like just yesterday we were at Puerto Rico Beach or introducing our children to each other for the first time. The bond was just never broken, not by distance, not by the demands of adult life, not by anything. She was yours, and she stayed yours. Our sister friend was light-hearted and of a bubbly spirit. She never took life seriously, and she had a gift of making sure you didn't either. She was a jokester, through and through, the kind of person you'd find that found humor in almost everything and weaponized it for your good. Even during her own illness and after surgery, she continued to check on others, sharing a joke, lifting up the room, reminding us what grace under pressure truly looks like. You simply could not be around Lisa and stay heavy for long. Our sister friend was a lifetime counselor. For all the years that we were friends, she was always the one who had the solution to problems. She had a strange way of knowing when to check on any of us, and she always had the right words to say. Through high school, as mentioned earlier, 5 of us were Seventh-day Adventists, and then Melissa came into the Seventh-day Adventist Church as an adult. And Carolissa nurtured her through every step of it, making sure to get up and pray with her early, inviting her to early morning prayer meetings, sharing her testimonies, and allowing her to just grow in the faith. Melissa now wonders if she was really her big sister, because last year, Lisa organized a family reunion on the beach in Trelawney and invited her, and strangely, she asked her to come and pray. She couldn't understand why, but didn't ask. And unfortunately, Melissa wasn't able to go. And now, she plays over every opportunity that she has to make sure that and I know that all that she could have done for our friend, she did. Carolissa was good at pulling people together, as she has done today, pulling us all together. She was born for it as a guidance counselor. But let me leave you with this. Earlier this year, I was asked to do the very first sermon of the year at my church in Georges Valley. Our sister friend was faithful. And I don't use that word lightly. I mean, in the fullest, most biblical sense of the word. And I know because I preached about it. And as Carolissa sat in the back of the church with her cheeks all blushing, and of course, Carolissa sitting beside her, the sermon topic was God's faithfulness to you. And I didn't waste time in making an illustration using Lisa. Faithfulness defined. What does it mean to be faithful? When I think of someone who is faithful, I think of Carolissa Wellington. Carolissa and I grew up in the same town, parish, and we were baptized in the same church, a crusade at Mapen Seventh-day Adventist Church. We graduated from the same high school. Along the way, we talked about God, friends, family, and the future. Here's the thing about Carolissa. I could always depend on her. If I was in a pinch, if I needed something, I could pick up the phone and know that if there was a way, Carolissa would find it. Sometimes I would voice concern that maybe she was too pressed for time to handle a task for me. Lisa would always answer back, and with some force. Hey, this is Lisa you're talking about. Have I ever let you down? And to this day, the answer is no. Carolissa is faithful. Those sentiments were again expressed the Sabbath just before she passed away, as we prepared gifts for those who had participated in the revival series leading up to the just concluded Countdown to the End evangelistic series. Lisa blushing again all over as I remember it. The moment is preserved on YouTube if you want to go back and watch it. The point I'm making is she heard what we thought about her. To Ainsworth and Avadean and Carrie, To her parents, brothers, her in-laws, and from all of us, we mourn with you. We miss her dearly. We loved her fully. God, in his perfect wisdom, decided he needed her now, and we're learning slowly to hold that truth alongside our grief. The absence of her laughter, her friendship, her beautiful spirit leaves an ache that words cannot fully reach. But one day, death will die. And so we do not mourn as others without hope. Her laughter echoes, her light remains. Come, Jesus, come.